Before we begin, subscribe and tell us in the comments what city or country you're watching from. Tonight, a black maid will touch a billionaire's ear when every doctor has failed him, and what she removes will expose why his fiancée desperately needed him to remain deaf. Stop pretending you can hear me. Camille Duval smiled as she said it, but her fingers tightened around billionaire Marcus Bellamy's arm. The orchestra continued playing inside the ballroom while more than 200 guests waited for Marcus to announce the largest hotel merger in American history. Marcus saw their lips moving. He heard nothing. Not the violins. Not the applause. Not even Camille whispering beside him. 3 weeks earlier, his hearing had begun fading after a minor ear infection. His private physician blamed inflammation. Camille arranged every appointment, handled his medication, and insisted he rest before the merger ceremony. That evening, both ears felt completely sealed. Marcus tapped the small hearing device behind his right ear. A high whistle pierced the silence. He winced. Camille immediately removed his hand. "Don't touch it." Dr. Halpern said the device needs time to adjust. Across the ballroom, black maid Lena Morris watched carefully. She had worked at Bellamy House for only 12 days. Most guests barely noticed her carrying water between tables, but Lena noticed everything. Before financial problems forced her into domestic work, she had spent 5 years assisting at an audiology clinic. Her mother had gradually lost her hearing, and Lena had learned how to clean hearing devices, recognize ear infections, and communicate through sign language. What Marcus wore was not a standard hearing aid. The casing looked real, but a thin transparent wire disappeared beneath his collar. A second wire appeared near Camille's bracelet. Lena moved closer with the water tray. Camille leaned toward Marcus and silently formed the words, "The board is waiting." Then she pressed her bracelet. Marcus suddenly heard her voice inside his right ear. "Sign the merger documents. Everyone has already approved them." He looked toward the board members seated near the stage. Several were shaking their heads. One woman appeared to be saying, "Do not sign." But Marcus heard Camille repeating, "They approved it." He frowned and touched the device again. Lena understood. The device was not helping him hear the room. It was replacing the room. Camille could control which sounds reached him. Marcus stepped toward the microphone. A legal folder waited on the podium. According to the program, he was supposed to announce Bellamy Hotel's purchase of North Coast Resorts. But the document on top was labeled, "Transfer of Controlling Interest." Marcus reached for the pen. Lena deliberately dropped the silver water pitcher. It crashed against the marble floor. Every guest turned. Marcus did not. He had not heard it. Camille spun toward Lena. "You careless woman." Lena looked directly at Marcus. He could see Camille shouting, but the device inside his ear continued transmitting calm recorded applause. Lena moved toward him. Camille blocked her. "Clean that mess and leave. Mr. Bellamy needs medical help. He has doctors." "Then why is his hearing device connected to your bracelet?" Camille's face changed. "Only for a second." But Marcus saw it. "What did she say?" he asked. Camille touched the bracelet. Inside his ear, a soft artificial voice answered, "She apologized for breaking the pitcher." Marcus looked at Lena's expression. She was not apologizing. She was warning him. Lena raised both hands and signed slowly. "Your ear is blocked." She controls the sound. Marcus knew only basic sign language. His late aunt had been deaf, and she had taught him a few phrases as a child. He understood enough. Camille grabbed Lena's wrists. "Stop waving your hands at him." Lena pulled free. "You put something inside his ear." Several guests began recording. Camille laughed. "She has worked here less than 2 weeks. Now she believes she understands his medical condition. I understand that a real hearing aid does not need a remote hidden inside your jewelry." Marcus looked at Camille's bracelet. She covered it with her other hand. "Give it to me," he said. "You cannot hear properly. You're confused." Marcus watched her lips. "Give me the bracelet." Camille stepped backward. Lena approached him carefully. "May I examine your ear?" He could not hear her, so she repeated the question in signs. Marcus nodded. Camille seized Lena's shoulder. If you touch him, I will have you arrested. Marcus pushed her hand away. He stood beside Lena. Let her. The ballroom became completely silent, though Marcus still heard manufactured applause through the device. Lena removed the fake hearing aid from behind his ear. The transparent wire did not end at the casing. It continued inside the canal. This may hurt, she said, signing the warning. Using clean cosmetic tweezers from the emergency medical table, Lena gently caught the visible edge of a thin black membrane. Camille lunged forward. Security stopped her. Don't remove that, she screamed. Lena pulled slowly. A small flexible disc emerged from Marcus's ear. It was coated with adhesive and attached to a tiny receiver. The moment it came free, sound exploded around him. The orchestra. The crowd. The cameras. Camille shouting his name. Marcus staggered as 3 weeks of silence ended at once. Lena steadied him. Cover your left ear, she said. Let your hearing adjust gradually. Marcus followed her instruction. Then he looked at the black disc in her hand. What is that? A deep canal acoustic seal, Lena replied. It blocked natural sound while the external device transmitted whatever someone selected. Marcus faced Camille. You made me deaf. No. Your infection caused the hearing loss. I was helping you. Lena examined the disc. The adhesive is fresh. This was replaced recently. Marcus remembered Camille applying medicated drops every night while he slept. How long? Camille's eyes filled with tears. You were under too much pressure. The merger was destroying you. You controlled what I heard during board meetings. I filtered noise. You replaced people's voices. The lead board member stepped forward holding a tablet. For 3 weeks, Marcus believed we supported the merger. We repeatedly told him the financial records were fraudulent. Marcus opened the document on the podium. The transfer did not purchase North Coast Resorts. It surrendered control of Bellamy Hotels to a holding company registered in Camille's name. He stared at her. You needed me to sign this while I couldn't hear anyone warning me. Camille's fear vanished. Cold calculation replaced it. You should have signed before the maid interfered. Lena turned the black membrane beneath the ballroom light. Something was engraved along its edge. A serial number. She entered it into her phone. The manufacturer's record appeared immediately. The device had not been purchased under Camille's name. It had been ordered through Bellamy House's private medical account by Marcus's physician, Dr. Halpern. 12 identical devices had been delivered. Marcus looked at Lena. Why would they need 12? Before she could answer, every speaker in the ballroom produced the same piercing frequency. Marcus grabbed his left ear and collapsed. Lena dropped beside him. His second ear still contained another membrane. Around the ballroom, 11 employees wearing newly issued communication earpieces began falling to their knees. Camille backed toward the exit. Lena looked at the victims and understood the truth. The devices had not been designed only to silence Marcus. They had been placed inside every person capable of exposing what Camille planned to do after taking control of his company. The piercing tone cut through the ballroom like a blade. Marcus collapsed beside the podium, one hand clamped over his left ear. Across the room, 11 employees wearing the newly issued communication devices dropped to their knees. Some cried out. Others stared blankly ahead, unable to balance. Lena moved first. Turn off the sound system. The technicians shook their heads. Every control board had gone dark. The tone was transmitting directly through the receivers hidden in the victim's ears. Lena knelt beside Marcus and signed as she spoke. Your second ear still has a disc inside it. I need to remove it now. Marcus nodded. Using sterile forceps, Lena caught the edge of the black membrane. It sat deeper than the first, and blood marked the canal. Marcus jerked when the adhesive released. The high tone stopped for him, but the other employees continued suffering. Remove every device, Lena ordered. The seal is inside the ear, not only behind it. The mansion nurse and paramedics followed her instructions. One by one, the victims were freed. A driver vomited. The payroll manager could not remember her own name. A young executive kept repeating the same sentence. Approve the transfer. Approve the transfer. Marcus heard her and turned toward Camille. What were those devices doing? They were experimental communication aids. Communication aids do not erase natural sound. They were designed for controlled focus. Lena placed both membranes in evidence dishes. No. They were designed for conditioning. The painful tone was not the first signal. Lower frequencies could create confusion or make repeated words feel familiar. A board member went pale. During every merger meeting, the same phrase played beneath the presentation. What phrase? Marcus asked. North Coast is the only safe choice. Camille laughed nervously. That was background audio. It was repetition under sensory isolation, Lena replied. Security Chief Nolan searched Camille's bracelet. Beneath the jeweled face was a control screen listing 12 device numbers. Marcus's appeared first. The others belonged to people who had objected to the merger: the chief auditor, payroll manager, 2 board members, Marcus's driver, his assistant, and 6 household employees. Why the staff? Marcus asked. Mrs. Delaney, the oldest housekeeper, raised a trembling hand. We saw Dr. Halpern entering your room at night. A footman added, and Miss Duval ordered us to alter your meeting recordings. The payroll manager finally focused. The holding company has no hotels. Marcus turned to her. What does it own? Medical patents. Lena checked the manufacturer record. The black membranes came from Auris Behavioral Systems. Its patent described a selective acoustic compliance platform developed for interrogation training. The owner was Halpern Strategic Medicine, Marcus's private physician. Nolan's radio crackled. We found Dr. Halpern's car in the underground garage. Engine running. No driver. Another guard reported that the medical storage room had been emptied. Camille stared toward the service corridor. He is leaving. You knew he would run, Marcus said. I knew he had contingency plans. What kind? She remained silent. Lena examined the bracelet. A map icon pulsed beside each serial number. 11 dots remained in the ballroom. A 13th dot blinked beneath the mansion. There were 12 deliveries, she said. Marcus looked over her shoulder. Then what is that? Another active device. Unassigned. The dot was moving through the lower level. Nolan led security toward the basement. Marcus insisted on following. Lena stopped him. Your ears are bleeding. You need a hospital. And someone beneath my house is carrying the device used to control me. You may collapse again. Then stay beside me. Camille watched them with open resentment. Marcus ordered 2 guards to bring her. They descended through the wine cellar into a corridor Marcus had never seen. It ended at a steel door marked Private Acoustic Lab. His fingerprint opened it. Inside were soundproof booths, medical chairs, and racks holding hundreds of black membranes. A wall of monitors displayed conversations from Marcus's boardroom, bedroom, cars, and dining room. Each recording was catalogued by date, emotional state, and recommended response. Lena opened one file. Marcus's voice played. I am not comfortable surrendering control. Then a synthetic version of his late mother answered. You always make the safest choice when you trust Camille. Marcus went still. My mother died 9 years ago. Camille looked away. They had not merely blocked sound. They had used dead voices to guide him. Another folder was labeled Employee Resistance. It contained workers reporting altered invoices, missing medical supplies, and strangers entering the mansion after midnight. Every complaint ended with the employee receiving an earpiece. They silenced anyone who noticed this laboratory, Lena said. Nolan called from the final booth. A man lay unconscious inside a medical chair. Dr. Halpern. A black membrane sealed each ear. A note was pinned to his coat. The doctor was never in control. Marcus checked his pulse. He's alive. Lena noticed a fresh incision behind Halpern's neck. Something beneath his skin blinked blue. Camille backed away. "What is that?" Marcus asked. "A command implant," she whispered. Every laboratory screen switched on. A silver-haired woman appeared behind Marcus's desk at Bellamy Tower. Marcus recognized Victoria North, founder of North Coast Resorts, the company he believed he was purchasing. Victoria lifted a medical proxy Marcus had approved 2 weeks earlier while wearing the devices. "You were never buying my company," she said. "You were volunteering yours. What do you want?" Bellamy Hotels controls properties in 30 countries. Oris needs private rooms, obedient staff, and guests who never question complimentary hearing devices. Lena understood. The merger was meant to turn the hotels into a global testing network. Victoria touched a control. The implant beneath Halpern's neck flashed. His eyes opened, and he spoke in a voice that sounded borrowed. "Lena Morris must be delivered to Bellamy Tower before midnight." Marcus looked at her. "Why Lena?" Victoria smiled. "Because the maid who recognized our device is the daughter of the woman who designed its original safety lock." Lena stared at Victoria North's image on the laboratory screens. "My mother repaired hearing devices in a neighborhood clinic," she said. "She never designed anything for Oris." Victoria smiled. "That is what Evelyn Morris wanted you to believe." Lena's chest tightened. Her mother had died 5 years earlier after suffering what doctors described as a sudden neurological collapse. In the weeks before her death, Evelyn had complained of ringing in her ears, missing memories, and hearing Lena's voice when Lena was not in the room. The symptoms now felt horrifyingly familiar. Marcus looked at Lena. "Did your mother ever mention a safety lock?" "Never." Dr. Halpern remained strapped inside the medical chair. The implant beneath his neck pulsed blue while Victoria's system controlled his speech. "Evelyn created the cancellation frequency," Halpern said in the borrowed voice. "A single acoustic sequence capable of disabling every Oris receiver without damaging the person wearing it." Lena stepped toward him. "Where is it?" Halpern's mouth moved against his will. "Hidden before her death." Victoria leaned toward the camera. "Bring Lena to Bellamy Tower, and I will tell her where." Marcus faced the screen. "You expect me to hand her over?" "I expect you to understand that the devices already distributed through your hotels can be activated remotely." A world map appeared. Red dots spread across North America, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. More than 3,000 active receivers. Many were listed under hotel employees. Others belonged to executives, inspectors, union representatives, and long-term guests. Marcus stared at the numbers. "My hotels have been distributing these complimentary wellness earpieces," Victoria replied. "Your management teams believed they reduced stress and improved sleep." Lena looked at Camille. "Did you know?" Camille shook her head. "I knew Marcus was being controlled. I thought the devices were limited to the merger." "You still helped." "Yes." The honesty did not redeem her, but it stripped away another excuse. Victoria touched the screen. One red dot began flashing inside a Bellamy hotel in London. A live camera showed a night manager standing alone in an office, wearing an earpiece. A voice played through his receiver. "Delete the safety complaint." The manager opened a computer file and erased it without hesitation. Marcus looked sick. Victoria said, 3,000 people can hear whatever we choose. Some can be confused. Some can be frightened. Others can be instructed. And Lena's mother built the protection against it, Marcus said. "She built the flaw," Victoria corrected. "Then she tried to destroy the project when she learned how useful it could become." Lena moved closer to Halpern's chair. The implant's blue pulse changed whenever Victoria spoke. It was receiving commands through the laboratory network. "Can the implant hear us?" Lena asked. Halpern's eyes moved toward her. He could not control his mouth, but he understood. Lena signed with one hand close to her waist, where the cameras might miss it. "Blink once if you can resist." Halpern blinked. "Once." She continued signing. "Where is the local network switch?" His eyes shifted toward the floor beneath the medical chair. Lena saw a narrow metal seam. Marcus followed her gaze. Victoria's voice sharpened. "Do not touch the chair." Lena stepped on the hidden panel. The floor opened, revealing a bundle of fiber optic cables and a manual control box. Marcus reached down, but Lena stopped him. Cutting power could trigger every device connected to the system. Halpern blinked twice. Not safe. Lena studied the switches. One was labeled acoustic feedback test. "My mother taught me something," Lena said. "Every sound control system needs a protected reference channel. Otherwise, the operator cannot tell real audio from manipulated audio." Victoria's expression changed. Lena had found the weakness. She turned the feedback dial slowly. A faint hum filled the laboratory. The implant beneath Halpern's neck flashed faster. Victoria shouted, "Stop." Lena increased the frequency. Halpern convulsed once, then his body relaxed. The blue light went dark. He inhaled sharply. When he spoke again, the voice was his own. 7 seconds, he gasped. That is how long the implant stays disconnected. Marcus freed one of his restraints. "Where is Evelyn's cancellation sequence?" Halpern looked at Lena. "Inside your mother's final voicemail." Lena froze. She still had that recording. Evelyn had called the night before her collapse. Lena missed the call because she was working late. The voicemail contained only breathing, static, and 3 broken words. "Listen beneath me." Lena had assumed her mother was confused. She encoded it under her own voice, Halpern said. A frequency humans cannot consciously recognize. Victoria regained control of the implant. The blue light returned. Halpern's body stiffened. Before his voice changed again, he shouted, "Do not play it near the main network." Victoria seized his speech. "The doctor has become unreliable." Marcus removed Halpern from the chair while Nolan disconnected the transmitter cables one at a time. Without the chair's amplifier, Victoria could no longer control his body completely, though the implant continued pulsing beneath his skin. Lena opened the voicemail on her phone. The recording was 8 seconds long. Her mother breathed heavily, whispered the strange phrase, and then the line ended. Marcus listened. "I hear nothing unusual." "You would not," Halpern said weakly. "The lock exists above ordinary hearing range. Why can't we broadcast it now?" Lena asked. "Because Victoria modified the later receivers. If the cancellation sequence enters the main network without the correct authorization layer, the devices interpret it as an attack. What happens then? Every receiver delivers maximum output. The painful tone that had dropped Marcus and the employees in the ballroom would strike thousands of people at once. Victoria smiled again. "Your mother created a key. I changed the locks." Lena looked at the world map. "Then why do you still need me?" "Because Evelyn made the authorization biometric." Marcus understood. Her daughter's voice. "Not only her voice," Victoria replied. "The sequence requires Lena's natural vocal resonance and Evelyn's hidden frequency together." Lena had inherited the physical sound pattern required to activate the safety system. Victoria could steal recordings of her voice, but not the precise resonance created live inside her throat. Marcus stepped toward the camera. "She is not going to Bellamy Tower." Victoria pressed another control. All 12 membranes in the laboratory cabinets activated simultaneously. The soundproof booths unlocked. Inside them were not empty chairs. 11 people sat restrained behind dark glass. The missing Bellamy employees whose names had appeared in the resistance files. Each wore receivers in both ears. One woman lifted her head. Lena recognized her. Her former audiology supervisor, Dr. Rosa Franklin. Rosa had disappeared 6 months after Evelyn's death. Victoria had kept everyone connected to the original safety lock. "Bring Lena to the tower," Victoria said. "Or the laboratory becomes their grave." Marcus ordered Nolan to open the booths, but the locks rejected every command. Halpern examined the panel. "They are tied to the Bellamy Tower master server." Camille stepped toward the screens. "My holding company access may still work." Marcus stared at her. You expect us to trust your credentials? No. Watch every step I take. She removed a ring from her finger and pressed it against the laboratory reader. A hidden code appeared. The booth doors unlocked. Nolan's team rushed inside and removed the victim's external devices, but the black membranes were embedded too deeply for quick extraction. Rosa caught Lena's hand. Your mother did not die from a neurological collapse. Lena's eyes filled. What happened to her? She tested the cancellation sequence on herself. Halpern closed his eyes. Rosa continued. It worked. Every receiver in the Auris laboratory shut down. But Victoria injected Evelyn with a compound that damaged her speech muscles before she could reproduce the authorization. Lena remembered her mother's final days. Evelyn could barely form words, yet every scan appeared normal. Victoria killed her. She tried, Rosa said. But Evelyn survived the hospital transfer. Lena's breath stopped. My mother is dead. I saw her 3 months ago. Victoria's image disappeared from every screen. A new live feed replaced it. Evelyn Morris sat inside a glass recording chamber at Bellamy Tower, wearing a headset connected to dozens of cables. Her face was older and thin, but alive. Lena moved toward the screen. Mom. Evelyn could not hear her. Victoria entered the chamber holding a microphone. Your mother has spent 5 years refusing to recreate the safety lock, she said. Tonight, you will persuade her. Behind Evelyn, a digital countdown appeared. 45 minutes. The building diagram beside it showed Bellamy Tower's emergency broadcast antenna linked to every active Auris receiver in the world. Marcus looked at Lena. Victoria was no longer planning to silence a board meeting or steal a hotel company. She intended to broadcast one final command through thousands of devices. And Evelyn's hidden safety sequence was the only thing capable of stopping it. The countdown inside Bellamy Tower dropped to 41 minutes. Marcus ordered the ballroom secured, the rescued employees transferred to medical care, and every Auris server isolated from the hotel network. Then he, Lena, Nolan, Halpern, Rosa, and Camille headed for the tower. Victoria expected Lena to arrive frightened and alone. Instead, she arrived with the people Victoria had failed to silence. Bellamy Tower's elevators were locked, but Camille used the merger credentials hidden inside her ring to open a maintenance lift. As they climbed, Halpern explained that the global broadcast could only be stopped from the recording chamber. Victoria needs Lena's live voice and Evelyn's sequence, he said. Once combined, she can either disable every receiver, or turn them all into permanent control devices. At the top floor, steel doors opened into a circular broadcast studio. Evelyn sat behind glass, connected to the antenna network. Victoria stood beside her with a microphone and a pistol. You came, she said. Lena stepped forward. Release my mother. Record the authorization first. Evelyn saw her daughter and pressed both hands against the glass. Tears filled her eyes, but her damaged voice produced only a faint breath. Victoria activated the microphone. Read the phrase on the screen. 4 words appeared. Obedience creates perfect silence. Lena understood. Victoria wanted her natural voice pattern attached to a command, not the safety lock. She looked at Marcus. He nodded once. He trusted her. Lena began reading, but changed the final word. Obedience creates perfect prisons. The system rejected the phrase. Victoria raised the pistol. Again. Rosa quietly connected Evelyn's original voicemail to the studio's backup console. Halpern located the biometric channel while Nolan moved behind the sound panels. The countdown reached 6 minutes. Victoria dragged Evelyn from the chair and pressed the weapon against her neck. Use the correct phrase. Lena looked at her mother. Evelyn lifted one trembling hand and signed the words she had taught Lena as a child. Listen beneath me. Lena finally understood. Her mother's voicemail was not only a hidden frequency. The breathing pattern created spaces where Lena's live voice had to fit. Rosa played the recording. Evelyn's faint breaths filled the studio. Lena spoke between them. No voice belongs to you. The console turned green. Safety authorization accepted. Victoria fired toward the controls. Marcus pulled Lena down as the bullet shattered the glass panel. Nolan tackled Victoria, and Halpern seized the broadcast switch. The global antenna activated. For 3 terrifying seconds, every Auris receiver delivered silence. Then all 3,000 devices shut down. Across the world, hotel workers, inspectors, guests, and executives removed their earpieces as natural sound returned. The command network died permanently. Victoria was arrested for kidnapping, attempted murder, unlawful medical experimentation, fraud, and conspiracy. The recovered servers proved she had manipulated thousands of conversations and used Bellamy properties as secret testing sites. Halpern confessed to implanting the devices and helping falsify Marcus's diagnosis. His cooperation exposed the wider network, but he still received a lengthy prison sentence. Camille surrendered the holding company, merger records, and every message connecting her to the scheme. She admitted controlling what Marcus heard, deceiving the board, and helping isolate employees who questioned her. The engagement ended immediately. Her testimony helped rescue victims, but it did not erase her choices. She was convicted of fraud, coercion, unlawful medical interference, and conspiracy. Evelyn survived. Her speech remained weak, but with therapy she regained enough control to speak to Lena again. Her first clear words were, "You heard me." Marcus publicly cancelled the merger and opened Bellamy Hotels to an independent investigation. Every victim received medical treatment, compensation, and control over their own records. He offered Lena leadership of corporate security. She refused. "I don't want to protect powerful people from consequences," she said. "I want to protect workers before power reaches them." The employees elected her director of an independent accessibility and safety council that no Bellamy executive could overrule. Months later, Lena stood beside her mother at the opening of the first hearing access clinic funded by seized Auris assets. Marcus joined them quietly. "You gave me my hearing back," he said. Lena shook her head. "I removed what was blocking it. Listening was still your choice." He looked toward the workers and families filling the clinic. For weeks, Marcus had heard only the voices Camille selected for him. The black maid who saved him did more than restore sound. She taught him that the most dangerous kind of deafness begins when powerful people stop believing the voices around them.